Sego, Tanse, bonjour, welcome back to Moose Hide Campaign Day. And thanks to everybody who's coming in from all over Turtle Island. We're here in Lekwungen Speaking People's Territory, and we're concluding our day today. We're coming to the final part of our journey together for Moose Hide Campaign Day. And so this part of the day is to do those final few steps, do them in ceremony, do them in a good way, and take care of the work that we need to make sure that we've conducted ourselves and our work and the ceremony in a good way for Moose Hide Campaign Day. And there's three steps that we want to take specifically. We want to call forth those witnesses, and I will be asking our brother Yakwelipton to come forward in a moment to take care of that work. And then once we have done that, we'll take another step and do our actual fast breaking ceremony. So for all of those who have been fasting, this will be your time to break the fast with us. And we have fasters in the room here with us who will be breaking the fast with us. And then there will be a third step where we will hear from the co-founders of the campaign, and we'll be saying good night. And with that, and after the fast is broken, we'll be having a small feast here, and we encourage you to do the same thing. And so that third step is celebration. That third step is taking a moment to acknowledge yourself and all the loved ones that you've taken this journey with today. And so with those three steps in mind, I'm going to ask Yakwelipton to come forward and take that first step for us. Thanks, brother.
Hi, it's Kasiem Siea. I'm David. Hi, it's Kasiem Siea. Na Moose Hide Nishwalakwa. So just again, thank my Moose Hide family for allowing me to share this time with you. In the morning, I cheated and had a couple of sips of water before I spoke, just to make sure that I was able to speak. This afternoon, I haven't done so. So you'll have to be patient with me as I feel a bit dehydrated, but for all the right reasons, of course. Again, I just want to refresh and just reflect on the opportunity to bring protocol into the way that we do Moose Hide work, in the way that the family acknowledges the Lekwungen Snapanik, our Chacha Snapanik, our sacred teachings of our community, and that the act of witnessing is one that, as I think about it, has happened for hundreds, if not thousands of years in our community. That it is something that we've used to make sure we walk in the ways that our ancestors have always taught us to. That those teachings be a key way in how we walk in this world. And so when I have the opportunity to bring that into my walk with my Moose Hide family on our traditional territories and around our sacred waters, I just relish and extend gratitude. And extend gratitude, of course, and humility to my ancestors that had the foresight to pass on these teachings to us. The role of the witness, as it's been taught to me, is to observe the work that happens, to bring reflection, to bring the strength of the event and the way that the family has hosted in the ceremony that they've done. Because that reminder is that we have been in ceremony for the day. Because we've had many of our loved ones fasting and making that humble sacrifice to refrain from water and food for the day. To acknowledge our commitment to end violence against women and children. and how important our gwalayu, our reason for being, or our spakin, our flowers are in our day-to-day walk. So as I call forward the witnesses, they will be asked to share a few words. And as I've shared with the family years ago, if any of the work that we've done is put into question, we call upon our witnesses again to speak on our behalf. And the reason we do so is we don't want our response to be presented as ego. So rather, we have those individuals speak to the work that we've done. That keeps us humble, and that keeps us on the ground at the same level with our family that we've chose to call in. So at this time, I would like to call upon Jane McMillan to say a few words. Haitskasiem.
Wow, what an exhilarating day. To witness this exceptional gathering from Mi'kma'ki is a wonderful honor. Thank you, Walaliok, for the handshake. From sunrise to sunset, the learning, sharing, and caring of each other, wrapped so carefully in the blanket of kindness and respect, is very good medicine. The heart and spirit of the paddle song that opened this ceremony carried us in a good way all day. The words of acknowledgement shared in the remarks of esteemed guests encouraged us. In Verna's workshop, we are reminded to honor the moose who gave their lives, their spirits, their energies, and their hides. Their generosity and sacrifice breathe life into this vital work of the Moose Hide campaign. The messages of respect shared throughout the day teach us about the responsibilities we all have to the past, to be mindful of our actions and intentions in the relationships we hold in the present. Respect guides us onto the pathways toward humane, love-filled, safe, and just futures. We were given the teachings that all our relations are sacred, grounded in the well-being of the land and in the well-being of the languages of ancestors. And we have reciprocal responsibilities to protect and enhance their well-being. This day we witnessed the power of hope, the hope of the collective. When the live stream came on with the march, my heart filled with elation to see so many people gathered, moving forward together. We witnessed the strength of the circle and the round dance and the unifying beat of the drum, the healing powers of ceremony, of song, of dance, of fasting, of being with the young ones. Her Excellency Mary Simon's image of murmurations invokes an apt metaphor of what we have witnessed today. The sheer awesomeness of the Moose Hide campaign, the creative, fluid, and inclusive ways they help us all stand up against violence in such safe and nourishing ways. Through the work of the Lacerte family and the Moose Hide campaign team, we witness the bounty of human spirit. Their work is emblematic of the wondrous potential of love. When two great minds, a father and a daughter, come together around an idea to change the world, what we witness, what we participate in, is a movement that makes intergenerational joy possible. Wulalio, thank you for all of your tremendous dedication and inspiring commitment.
Just want to take an opportunity to thank you, Jane, for your words. Thank you for what you've witnessed throughout the day. And I'm sure many of the family can interrelate to some of your observations. And just raise my hands to you for bringing that medicine into our circle for the day. Haitskasiem. At this time, I'd like to call upon Wanik Horn-Miller to say a few words. Haitskasiem.
Sego, thank you so much for having me to be part of such an incredible day, to be here, to be invited by two people that I so greatly respect. I have seen birth such an important movement. Thank you so much for having me here. I want to thank all of you who have come today and brought your fires, brought your own personal fires to join together in such an important time and an important issue of violence against women and girls. You know, today was a day where we started off hearing from someone that I've always held with such great esteem, Justice Murray Sinclair. And it really put me, the words and the work that he has done has really put me on a journey to understand what does truth and reconciliation really mean. And I think today, we've heard so many stories. We've learned and we've expanded our comprehension of what truth is, the truth of this country, and that truth of the history and what we've experienced as Indigenous people, and how it has echoed through generations, and that hurt has echoed and echoed from generation to next. And that's hard. It's hard, that expansion of that truth and our Indigenous ways of knowing and trying to find solutions. You know, what we did today and what everybody bringing their fire today has enabled us to find a path to reconciliation, to bring that hard history and that hard reality to finding a way forward together. And it's really important. I think a lot about those two beautiful babies, the grandbabies, Paul's beautiful grandbabies, and the whole reason why. You know, today we saw a lot of mothers, fathers, sisters, brothers, aunts, uncles, grandmothers, grandfathers, people who, for the love of their children, the love of, you know, the generations to come, are willing to expand that truth, but be part of that solution. And this whole movement has been created out of love. That love that has no words. In our language, it's ganurunquatsara. And as my mother always says, it doesn't really encompass what I'm trying to say. English isn't a complex enough language to really explain what that word means, but it's that deep, deep, deep well, that endless well of positive, beautiful, warm, healing energy, that's where you're supposed to take from. You're supposed to take from there. And I believe today has been a day where many people have dug into that ganurunquatsara to try to make things better. Today I thought of my mother who, like many mothers, has been through so much of this, and how she raised her daughters. She fought to raise us in a home where she prized the safety of her daughters so strongly, because she understood that if we didn't feel safe when we put our heads down at night, we wouldn't be able to dream. And our young ones deserve to dream as big as possible. And they need to be safe when they shut their eyes, when they put their heads on the pillows, that they know that nothing's going to happen to them. And so today we made that just a little bit more possible. And we spread that hope of what our future has to bring, because those dreams are our collective future. And you know, today we are reminded of that resilience, that idea that our ancestors, we are who our ancestors intended us to be. That we're not here by mistake. We are not here by chance. We are here because they intended us to be here. And I encourage all of you to continue today's work beyond the fast, beyond the feast. Write your legend, because today, by doing what you're doing, it is going to be studied 7 generations of the future. your descendant is going to study about this. They are going to learn about the Moose Hide campaign and why it started. And they'll ask their parents, what did great-grandma and grandpa do? What did they do? Well, today you're starting to write that legend and make it full of Ganadugwatsada, make it full of hope. Be the legend that they cling to when they are worried, when they need courage, when they need to find that how to be brave, to change maybe something in their life. Maybe they need to be that warrior of their own life. They're going to know that your blood runs in their veins, that your spirit is there. And I encourage you to be that amazing ancestor for those generations to come. So thank you so much for having me here today. Thank you, Paul. And I so appreciate this.
Wanik, for your wonderful teachings that you've wove through your message. I had these wonderful images of intergenerational fires, ignited together, and that reminder that those fires that are within, it's our role individually and as community to nurture those. So just raise my hands to you for making this time available to us. Thank
you.
At this time, I'd like to call upon Benny Reveluk to share a few words. Hajka.
Parutit, greetings, Kuvia Huktunga, Lukwongan territory, Sanghees and Esquimalt nations. I raise my hands to you, Yahweh Lipton, and Hereditary Chief Wedlidi Speck and the Lessert family. Atira Bunny Reveluk. My Inuvialuit name is Bunny Reveluk. My English name is Stephanie Papik. My dad is Gilbert Papik, the older of 6 siblings and the only surviving. Our family too has experienced violence primarily through the healthcare and the NWT, and a primary reason that we live down here, where we also have the in plain sight report. My pronouns are she, her, they, them, and I'm a daughter, a sister, a mother, an auntie, a friend, and a community member. And I'm honored to be here called today as a witness. I've been witnessing the Moose Hide campaign for over a decade now. And before I share, I want to say that I'm really grateful for that little break today. It gave some time to practice some self-care, some time for reflection, as well as some time for preparation for sharing tonight. I wanted to share 4 highlights with you from today. 1, that reminder of continuity in practice, in the how we come together, the leading up work, and the relationship building. And the how in the honoring the protocols and the practices of the nations whose land we are gathering on today. Continuity in practice is how we will sustain systemic shifts. The pandemic has shown us many examples of things that we can do now that we didn't think was possible. Second, I wanted to share was putting young people, knowledge keepers, and elders back in the center. Honorable Marie Sinclair's words to show respect for each other and our children prompted me to offer a little invitation the next time you're at a family dinner table, perhaps invite a round of what does respect look and feel like to each of us. And I heard that invitation to model the behavior that we're hoping to see. There's many aspects of my Inuit culture that I'm grateful to learn. One of them is the custom of naming our newborns. We name them with an elder who's recently passed. And then we treat that young one with the same respect as the elder, and then they gain additional respect through their own accomplishments. And just imagine if we shifted in that way of how we treat our young ones. My heart was so happy this morning to hear from Governor General Mary Simon, her powerful questions, what can I do, recognizing every individual is responsible. That reminder of continuous evaluation of where we want to go, the practice of understanding, empathy, and respect, and that hope exists when we come together. I noticed that both really spoke to how that journey begins within. And that brings me to my third reflection. It's the workshop on self-discovery and awareness through storytelling, harvesting, and reflection. We had over 300 Canadians of diverse ancestry join us for a virtual circle where we co-created a safe learning and sharing space. People offered understanding, respect, love, compassion, empathy, openness, patience, gratitude, peace, healing, growth, honesty, acceptance, and those are just a few of what they offered. We provided space for Anishka Mann, an alumnus of the Indigenous Youth Internship Program and a respected colleague at Emergency Management BC, to share just one part of his own journey of self-discovery and awareness through his relationship through his once pup and now elder Cash. John's authentic, vulnerable, and hence powerful sharing inspired many insights and actions to the participants. They shared the ripple effects of the awareness of nonverbal communication, being open to those unintended consequences of our actions, opening our hearts and minds, and finding daily moments of awe. Through John's storytelling, I witnessed many people becoming open without shame or blame to their own blind spots and biases. This is medicine that creates shifts. Our circle this morning is a testament to when we make the time to co-create a space, shift into the relational, ground ourselves in our bodies and our breath, the wisdom and the insight that emerges is awe-inspiring. My last force sharing is repetition, the power of repetition. We can create new neural pathways, new habits and tendencies. And I'm so excited that we get to do this again next year. And for the next 364 days, I invite moments of self-care, self-love, mindfulness, and lean into that courage in those moments when we have the opportunity to contribute to truth-telling, peacemaking, and lifting each other up. Hajka, thank you.
Hajka Siem Siea, Benny Reveluk. Just would like to thank you for your commitment to today, to what you've witnessed, not only in the work, but in your own experience of the day as well. And what really sort of resonates for me at this time is that commitment to continuity and how we show up, and how we create space together, and how we be curious. And I hope those seeds are planted for others in the way that we move forward, and just raise my hands and say, Hajka Siem. Wahiao, Kawapata, Sko, Hajka Siem, just ask you to share a few words.
I'd like to start with acknowledging the traditional territory of the Lekwungen-speaking people, the Esquimalt and the Squamish. I'm a visitor here this weekend, or during this event, from the unceded ancestral territory of the Lheidli under the leadership of Chief Dolene Logan, who is the first female chief for that band since 1969. So I'm just thinking of the elders in that community as I'm standing here today. Tanse dia wahiao kwapdasko sagaswian. My traditional name is Wahiao Kwapdasko, and that translates to Seas Far Woman. My English name is Barb Ward Burkett, and it's a privilege and an honor to be a part of the sacred medicine and the teachings that have happened here today. And it's with humility that I stand before each and every one of you, because I think that the words that we speak are medicine. The words that we speak are powerful. And it's our hope that our young people especially hear those words, and that they're able to use those words in their journey. I heard a commitment here today from every one of the speakers. And as I was walking around throughout the day and throughout this building and through the march and the events, where there was a commitment and a call for action from all speakers, that taking action and a renewed sense for healing, that chance for healing. And I'd like everyone to just think about that as I share my remarks today, and think about that in how each and every one of us can do that. This is one day, and we heard that as well. What can we do after today to take action, to continue that commitment, to ensure that women and girls across our country are safe? Because as Justice Murray Sinclair had said, violence does thrive in the shadows. There's many of our women and our young girls that don't speak of that violence that they might be experiencing. They're feeling shame, they're feeling embarrassed, they're feeling helpless, they're feeling fear, all of those things that add to that silence. So how can we work as people to help with that? Again, that the other message that I heard is understanding and respect is key. Overcoming adversity. So one of the messages I'd like to share for all of the women that are listening today is that if you're feeling that you're in a place where you're not feeling respect, where you're not feeling safe, when you're not feeling love, then reach out. Go into your own ceremony, because it's that ceremony that's going to help you to move away from those situations of violence. And it might take time. It might take reaching out and trusting somebody to help you lead the way, somebody that's going to truly hear what your story is. So I know that firsthand. I myself am a survivor of domestic violence, and know what that feels like, know what that fear is, but I also know that there is a way. So we must do better for our women, and we must do better for our girls, and each and every one of us have a part of that. We must have a part of that. We must be a part of that taking action. We must be a part of ensuring that that time of healing is there and that it's in place. So part of that, we all know that what has led us to that place, not just only through reconciliation are those things going to be addressed, the colonization that we've underwent as Indigenous people through residential schools, through the Indian Act, through the 60s scoops, through all of those kinds of things. It's going to take time to get there, but it is really about hearing each other's stories and making that commitment for action, to bring that violence out of the shadows, to make it not okay for our women and our girls to undergo that violence. So one of the things that I've learned from my dear friend and my family member, I feel like that I'm her second mom, Raven, has always said, love is the answer. And that is completely true. Love happens in many ways, and it is the answer. Love for yourself, love from your family, and love from your community. So with that, again, it's been a privilege and an honor to be a part of this event today, to be a part of this family, to be a part of this, just this honor and this privilege. To be able to speak, because there was a time when it was not safe to do this. And so I want to thank my Lacerte family for inviting me here today. I want to acknowledge my husband and my grandson who were here today as well and joined me in the march. And just want to thank everybody and thank all of those across our country and that are here today who were in ceremony by fasting and who wear that moose hide pin. Thank you so much for that. Exe.
Aitzkasiem siea nishjalacha or nishjacha. Just want to thank you, my friend, for what you've shared and it allows time for a lot of reflect and what that action means, you know, in my own journey, and the encouragement that others take that opportunity to reflect as well, and what that healing and acknowledging and moving forward with love looks like. Just want to take an opportunity to thank our witnesses that have come forward. Again, to the Lacerte, my Moosehide family, for always walking in such a beautiful way throughout the day, but also bringing in ceremony in the way that we do this work. And that I love those words around how we walk through this, you know, as being ceremony, and that perhaps that ceremony continues beyond the fast. You know, perhaps that ceremony becomes in how we look after that fire within ourselves, you know, to continue to learn, to grow, to embrace that compassion and self-love so that it reflects to others in our lives. And so I thank my Moosehide family again for allowing me to share this time. Haitskasiyam.
Thank you so much, Yakwelaptin, for taking care of us and taking care of the witnesses today and bringing them forward and taking care of that part of the ceremony. You know, we said there's three pieces of work that we would like to do, and we've completed now that one step, the witnessing ceremony. And with that, so much to take in and nourish ourselves with. And part of the next step is to reflect a bit on our fasting journey and then to break that fast. And two things as we do that, two or three things to say is one, let's go very slow at this part. This part of the ceremony, to go slow and be intentional. And one of the things to do at this time is to acknowledge and notice those who are fasting, just to acknowledge that you're hungry and that you're empty a bit, you've emptied out a bit. And part of that is to also help us track our own discipline. And it's an important word because discipline comes from the concept of disciple, comes from the concept of being open. And then there's a lot of teachings around that, being open to learning. And so we just want to thank our witnesses for showing up at a time when we have practiced a little bit of that emptying out of what's inside of us, and maybe in our own minds and our own bodies, and practiced allowing in a little deeper reflection and understanding. And that's part of our hope, is when we go into these ceremonies and into the process for today, that when we go into a fasting ceremony, is that we open a little space within us, a little bit of a time within us for deeper reflection and a taking in of the words and practices that are being shared with us. In a second, we'll ask our Chief Wedlidi Speck to come up and guide us through the actual fasting, fast-breaking part of the day. Just to let everybody know that's watching that we have some fasters over here who are sitting on the ground as they go through their final steps of the fast. And what we'll be doing is offering them some water, what you'll have, and then berries, what you'll have after the water, when Wedlidi walks them through that. So would recommend that everybody go ahead and get some berries and some water or some kind of simple thing to break your fast with. And we recommend that, yeah, you can hand it out. We recommend that you start with the water. As we go into this, just to also acknowledge that this little journey that we did today, under the guidance of the Yakwelaptin and with the help of all the speakers and those who sang songs and shared dances and shared words today, that this kind of work, there's a teaching that we always share at this time, which is this kind of work that we call into ourselves and into our communities and into our loved ones. What we're looking to find in this work is something that you can't buy and you can't sell. It's something you cannot buy and you cannot sell, but it is something you have to pay for. You have to pay for it. And we pay for it in ways of a little bit of sacrifice, not a harm to ourselves, but just a stepping out of our comfort zones. We pay with a little bit of discomfort. We pay with a little bit of self-reflection and maybe looking inside of ourselves and saying, hey, what more can I do? What is something else that I need to clear out to just take that little bit step forward? And the good thing about that is that if you fasted today, you've already won the battle, that you've already taken that step. And so after this moment now, when we break this fast, we'll have that opportunity and then to reflect a bit on that. So take it slow, and then we're so grateful to have our elder Wedlidi Speck and Chief Wedlidi Speck come and guide us in the breaking of the fast. And after that, I'll come back and do some final words with you.
David. Thank you. I want to begin by in the language of my ancestors, to say to all of you, welcome. And I want to say in that same language, in that same word, thank you. And I want to say again in that word, which translates also to mean, I want to share breath and spirit with you. I've asked my daughter to come and stand with me and to be with me in this part of the ceremony. So this is Jesse Wedlidi Speck. And it's important because this day is your day. I also had my granddaughter, who's 5 years old today, join us. And it's her day, as it is for all of you here today, your day. As it is for my grandsons, their day. You know, as we mentor how we approach the day, it changes young boys' minds about you as mothers and aunties and grandmothers, sisters and daughters, right? And I think that's really important. When I spoke to the idea of sharing breath and spirit, it really reminds me of the word in our language is called awitnagula. And I learned that from a beautiful elder who at that time was 86 years old. And her name was Abumbo, Katie Adams. And she said to me, she said, what that word means is you want to be one with heaven, the air, the land, and the sea, and everything in it. And her gestures, the way she was talking and explaining that, brought me to a whole new experience and way of looking at the world. Changed my life in that moment. And I say this because when I think about the fast and I think about our intentions and the work that we've done today, I think about that oneness. I think about those relationships. And it brings me to a different place than I was before I started, you know, and it's so important because when I go to that place, I get out of myself and I start listening to the voices of my inside self. And what came to me was the story, a brief, small story of Kanikilo, the transformer who came to make things better for us. And the transformer saw a man who was making a spear. And the transformer asked him what he was doing. And he says, he looks at this person, and he says, you must be the only one that doesn't know this transformer's coming to change things for us. And I want the spear because I want to kill him. I don't want things to change. And he says, well, it's a magical spear you're making. You mind if I look at it? And he looked at the spear, and it was made with such precision and such patience. And so he took that spear and he touched this person with that spear, and he transformed into an otter, and he ran to a river. And when he went to the river, it began to change him. And he began to see the world in a different kind of way. And he began to see that his mind was like the river. He began to see that that river was life-giving. He began to see, how important water was to our people. And that's one of my teachings, that when we look at this, and we look at the sacredness of the water that we're going to bring into our bodies, think about that, Awitnakila. Think about oneness with all living things. Think about, the shift of consciousness. And I'm going to invite you to raise your glass. And the most humble way is to make that commitment. But in your mind, I'm going to invite you to say, believe. Right? In your mind, you say, believe. So on behalf of the Lacerte family and all our women, our children, those yet to be born, look at this. I believe I can make a difference. I believe I can make a difference. So my fasting today was about believing to make a difference. So we can have a drink. And please have a drink. I believe I can make a difference. And then one of the important things that in that story talks about connection, talks about relationship, and how important it is when I look at the, you grab one there. Yeah. What I learned about that in that story and that word, I am one with heaven, the air, the land and sea and everything in it. I'm speaking as a berry right now. That berry is saying to all of you, to each and every one of us, I am one with heaven, the air, the land and sea and everything in it. That's the berry. The berry is sacrificing itself that we may be strong and we may feel connected, that we may have that oneness within our body. And so when I look at that, I'm taking the whole of the universe when I take this berry into my body. And I invite us now to grab our berry and take that berry, bring the universe into our body. And in that act, we firm up our commitment to action. We firm up our commitment to action, that we will start as we have today and carry this tomorrow, the 364 days that this work needs in order for us to make the change that we need to make. And that is so important for us when we look at that. And so when we take that berry in, we have taken the universe in, and all things are possible. For when we believe in that higher way of seeing the world, the life force that's created this beauty that we walk on, that we embrace, is in that berry. It's in our body now. And we can create beautiful things. We can be innovative, creative, and beautiful. So I believe I can make a difference. And I love this here when we look at men standing up against violence, taking action. Those words are words in which can guide us in this work in a really positive way. So I really want to raise my hands to all of you for that commitment and that work you've done today. That's big work. And I want to say it was done in a way that as you did your work today, you, on a deepest level, you made that commitment at your deepest level. So it's like we were working on two levels today. One is that we were helping and working with all of you across the country. And on another level, it was about our own personal commitment, our own investment in the future of our children and the ones that we love. And I just want to say to my daughter as I end this part, how important she is to me and my granddaughter and who are there today. And I want them to know, that their voices matter. And this is why we're here today. You know, it's about your safety, it's about your voice, and it's about your place in the world. you know, and I've made a public statement that my daughter is going to be my family myth keeper and name keeper. And so the stories that I tell will be her stories, and her role in my family is to be that, you know. So I just really happy that you want to do that. Kela Kisla. And may you all across the country know that you have a great home here, and you have a family with us, and we look forward to meeting in a peaceful world in a good way. And thank you, brother, for holding the space for this. Thank you.
Wow, what a world of blessings we have been gifted with, all these people taking care of us. Thank you so much, Wedlidi and Jessica, for taking care of our fast-breaking ceremony. I'll just ask the fasters that are here to just remain seated until after the event. And, you know, that's, I want to invite each of you to take a moment just to reflect on the day and take an actual moment of silence just to reflect on the day. And everything you've heard, and just take it in a bit. Let that nourishment of words and berries come into your body. So that is it for that part of the ceremony. It is done. We're now moving on beyond that place. So I want to just acknowledge that that is over, and so much gratitude for what it was, and carrying it now with us, putting it inside of us, carrying it with us in a good way that day, part of the day. And now, you know, we move into the final piece. We are going to ask the host family, the Lacerte family, to come forward and share. Once they do, once they finish sharing, we've had what we call a day of video put together. So when they're done, we're going to show a 5-minute video that you can watch as a sort of exit video for the day, and then when that's over, our ceremony will be over. So I just want to say it's been an honor to work with the family and to work with all of the people that have made this day what it was today. And in particular, I'd like to thank each and every one of you who are watching and who have watched this. You're either watching it live now or watch it later, to take your time out of your life to put your heart and your time and your soul into hearing this work and hearing the good teachings that have come out of the day. So with that, I'm going to ask the Lacerte family to make their way up here. They may or may not be ready, but they're so quick at getting ready that I'm not too worried about it. And yeah, thank you, brother.
Just rallying up our family members here. Well, part of our family, we feel like our family just grew significantly today. Did you get some berries, Cedar? We just have a few final words that we wanted to say. We wanted to start in our language as Raven and Sage and I and a lot of our family members. We're just early in our learning journey about our language, but it's such an important part for us of our comeback story as a family and our comeback story as Indigenous peoples in Canada and our journey of reclamation of self and sovereignty and nationhood is our language. We wanted to just share a few words in our language. Some of you have heard this before, but we're going to ask you just to participate in it again. So we would ask for you to say Nyan Spe Hunzu. So if you're watching and you would love to try it out, then you can just take a little risk and join in a few words from our carrier territory, Nyan Spe Hunzu. And I'm going to ask those of us that are here to say that together in a second. And what Nyan Spe Hunzu means is, you are so beautiful to me that my heart leaps up inside of me when I look at you. You're so beautiful to me that my heart leaps up inside of me when I look at you. And we talked about it as a family. And that's the message that we wanted to say to you tonight, to each and every one of you who joined us today. We wanted to say to each and every one of you that you are so beautiful to us as a Lacerte family and as Moosehead family, that our heart leaps up inside of us when we look at you, when we think about you, and when we feel the kinship that we have with you today. So I'm going to ask everybody to say that, our Lacerte family and the folks here, to say that to each other, Nyan Spe Hunzu. And it's like, yeah, with whoever you're sitting with on both sides, you could say Nyan Spe Hunzu, my heart leaps up inside of me. You're so beautiful. My heart leaps up inside of me when I look at you. Okay, on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Nyan Spe Hunzu. Nyan Spe Hunzu. Nyan Spe Hunzu. Cedar. Nyan Spe Hunzu. She's out. All right. We just have a few thank yous that we wanted to say. As a family, I'm so honored to stand here with my extended family today. And we wanted to just offer our deepest gratitude, starting with our brother, Yepwelipin. Thank you so much. We love you. You're so beautiful to us. And we can't wait to continue this journey together with you. Masi Stachalia. Thank you, brother. To our chief, Wedlidi. So beautiful to do work with you, to see you, to laugh with you. And we've been missing you in the pandemic. And all of your teachings and your love and kinship. So thank you so much. And Jesse, thank you for being with us here as well. To the fasters, we wanted to say thank you for your warrior work, and to our fasters here. And I wanted to especially acknowledge my grandson, Jackson, Ian Paul McRae, who is one of our young warriors here and had a beautiful day at school today, and was one of the many folks in K-12 across Canada that were taking action today. And so I wanted to acknowledge you, Jackson, and his dad, Andrew, and our fasters that are here with us that you can't see on camera. My partner, Jace, and all of the men and women that fasted with us across Canada. We just wanted to say thank you. To our witnesses, we're so grateful to have these 4 incredible matriarchs and all of their own hard work and leadership and love and care and gentleness and work ethic and protection and role modeling and beauty. And we're so grateful to our witnesses. So thank you. Thank you, Stephanie. Thank you to Jane, and thank you to Wanique. Thank you so much. To our elders and our matriarchs that have held us this day right across Turtle Island, thank you so much, and especially to my mom, who was here today. We had 4 generations during our time that we were on the walk, and we're so lucky to do this work intergenerationally, to feel the healing intergenerationally, to heal together intergenerationally, and to take all that the dysfunction that colonization has tried to put on us, to take that out and put love back in, and to reclaim, to be in right relationship with each other. And so thank you so much to all of our elders and matriarchs, and to our babies and our children. And it's been so beautiful to do this work and to be able to share why we're doing this work, those real little ones and those fragile ones, and especially to have that little cedar bear with us, and that little Chasiez, little Santiago that's up here, little Mediana is here somewhere in our space, and just wanted to say, yeah, all of our love. And to the little ones, especially those young ones in kindergarten to grade 12 that did so much work today to build a better future for all of us. Yeah, we know that through the work of Catherine, my sister Catherine, and her team, education team, and that little cedar, that we had over 250,000 young people registered, and so many more in schools across Canada that were not registered, that were building that better future that we're all working towards and doing that hard work. And so we really wanted to thank and acknowledge them. And to our partner communities and organizations across Turtle Island, thank you so much. To our incredible Moosehead staff team, some of the most hardworking people I know. Thank you so much. Lots of long days and sleepless nights and late emails, and for us to get to that place where it's smooth and things happen in what appears to be a really seamless way. There's so much work to make that happen, and especially our CEO Dave Stevenson, my brother, and our Chief Operating Officer, Rosie Hartman, our other fearless leader, Air Traffic Controller, who we were saying yesterday just wants to tell us all to take off. But just such incredible leadership from those two and our team. So we wanted to say thank you so much. Thank you so much. And to everyone that joined us today, and the gratitude that we have for this moment in time. We're mortal, and life is short and really, really precious. And that we get to experience love and healing and kinship and magic together today is so beautiful, and today was drenched in pure love. Today was drenched in pure love. And our only hope is that this effort and this campaign brings the healing that Barb was talking about and that so many people have been talking about today, and a better future than the past that we've had, and an end to violence, and a bringing forth of love and dignity and respect. So those are the words that we have. There's an end of day video that we're going to see now, and we would like to bid each and every one of you good evening and good night, and please continue this effort, as was said, tomorrow and the next day and the day after that, and we'll see as many of you as possible next year. Please spread the word. Last year was 86,000 people that registered for the day today. This year it was over 400,000. And if we keep on that trajectory and all of us do our work to continue to spread this good medicine, next year we should be over 1 million people standing together to end violence against women and children in this country. And we just invite you to be part of that journey. Awedza, all my relations, thank you so much. Good night.